All right, this is video number 3 for Thursday, and this is including the stuff that's going to be on Friday's quiz, which is really your final exam. And the title of this is Miscellaneous AP Essays number 5, and this one is going to be shorter. I do want to remind you that I'm giving you some videos to do that are going to count as your final exam in the 70% category, but it's really just classwork where you watch the video and you take notes. I'm planning on giving you probably 3 videos, and I may give them to you as early as tomorrow, which is Friday. I will say my senior grades are due Wednesday, and AP European is testing Wednesday. So I'm probably going to have a live Zoom chat with them. And so my senior grades are due sometime Wednesday. I will say, if you send me a bunch of missing assignments Wednesday, I am probably not going to have a chance to grade them. I may not have a chance to grade them if you do them Tuesday night. I will save room in my schedule to grade these, the ones that are going to be coming up. So what I'm saying is I'm going to give you these videos maybe as late as Sunday. I'm going to try and give them to you Friday, and Friday or Saturday. So here's the thing. I think it would be best for you to do them one at a time, so you can take your time and learn what's going on in the videos. On the other hand, I don't want anything to interfere with your lit exam, your government exam. I'm not one of these teachers who thinks my class is more important than anybody else's. I will tell you, if you're a engineering type or science type, physics and calculus should be number 1. If you are, for everybody, lit should be like your most important thing, because if you get a good grade on that one, it really counts. I do not consider this class more important than those. So I don't want this final I'm doing to interfere with that at all. But so what I'm saying is, I've been telling you all course long, all semester long, that the problem with people not understanding economics is they don't take into account human nature. Okay? Well, you're supposed to understand human nature. And here's what human nature is. Most people do what's in their best interest. So if I give you the 3 videos Friday and you want to get them done, go ahead and do them. You can send them to me Friday night. I think it would be better for you to do one at a time and take your time and learn it. And I'm going to try and pick topics that really help you prepare for the exam. But I'm also going to keep doing videos after next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, after next Wednesday, that's the last day for seniors. I can't give you any more graded assignments, but I'm not going to kick you guys to the curb. I'm going to keep releasing videos that you can watch if you want, or you can delete if you want. Okay, it's all, but you need to do what's right for you is what I'm saying. But because I don't want to trick you up next week, and I don't want to take any chance you're going to get this in too late to go into your senior grades, I will try to give you the videos early. Sorry I wasted 3 minutes telling you that. Let's go on. All right. Let's a little refresher here on the Phillips curve. I know we just did this, but there's one other thing I want to point out here. The long run Phillips curve is synonymous with the natural rate of unemployment. Okay. And remember, the natural rate of unemployment is synonymous also with the LRAS. Okay. And it is also synonymous with, I can't say that word. I know this looks ridiculous, me hold but this is the PPC. This shifting out line here, that is also the natural rate of unemployment. So now I do know that the PPC can shift outward. I also know that the LRA or inward. The LRAS can, if the economy, businesses buy a whole bunch more productive equipment, if they get a lot more educated employees, the LRAS can shift in the long run. I have not run across any situations where the LRPC shifts. So if they give you that question and you're in doubt, just say it doesn't change. I will try to find out over the next couple of weeks if there's anywhere it shifts, but I do not know of it ever shifting that I've ever seen. Okay, so, and again, here is ADSRAS. I should not have to remind you of this. What I want you to do here is go ahead and put both of them in your notes. You can rough it out. Just put them both here at the top of your notes before we even see the problem. We're only doing one in this video. So put them there. And so when I'm telling you what I think you should do with them, you can look at your examples. Okay. Remember, I'm working on this master study guide. I hope is going to be very helpful. I hope you all have a printer, or you at least have another thing like a Kindle or something that you can, when you take your test, a tablet that you can set my study guide there and scroll through it. I'm going to try to make it very user friendly. I'm going to have all the graphs, all the different units. And so I'm hoping you know the answers and you'll only go to my testing study guide um, when you're unsure, or if you get done early. Remember, most AP Macro kids on the essays in the past get done early. All right, so let's move on here. All right, so you got those two graphs drawn there. I want you to go ahead and title it this way so you can tell. Guys can go out on the internet. All of the published AP Macro essays are online with their explanations. And that's where I've gotten all of mine. I've had kids in the past who kind of hinted they knew what I was going to give on the final because they could go out there and see. And I told a kid one year, I said, look, there's like 30 essays out there. If you want to go do all 30 of those essays to prepare, I wish you much luck. I want you to do that. Anyway, here's our problem. So what I would like for you to do now, we're going to ignore E and F down here because they're 4X. And 4X will not be on the exam. And I told you in one of my recent videos on the loanable funds that usually loanable funds works with 4X. And yesterday the College Board released its second practice essay, and there was a loanable funds question on there without 4X. So it is very likely that there will be a 4X. As a matter of fact, not a 4X, there will be a loanable funds graph. Clifford released what he expects is going to be on the exam last night. He does this every year. He tries to predict what's going to be on the exam. And a lot of times he's dead on, and he has predicted a bank and balance sheet, and he's predicted that you will see loanable funds. So I think I did a pretty good video on that. Anyway, this is the only one we're doing today. Go ahead and set in this video. Go ahead and set this essay up, 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. And if it tells you to draw a graph, leave room. And for B, make sure you put BI and BII. All right. Now, here's what's interesting. It says using the okay, let's look at the top. Assume the economy of country X has an actual unemployment rate of 7%, a natural unemployment rate of 5%. Let's just stop right there. If the natural rate is 5%, that's what it ought to be when the economy is doing fine. When the economy is long run and short run equilibrium, it should be 5%, but it actually is 7%. So think about that for a second. It's not long and short run equilibrium, because if it was, it'd be 5%. So are we in a recession or are we in an inflationary gap? We are in a recession because unemployment is higher than it, quote, should be. And you have an inflation rate of 3%. Now let's look at 1A. Using the numerical values given above, draw a correctly labeled graph of the short run and long run Phillips curves. Label the current short run equilibrium as point B. Now remember, because we're in a recession, on the Phillips curve, that means it's going to be to the right of the straight line, to the right of the SRPC, okay? And plug these numbers in. Now, what I do when I teach my kids how to do the Phillips curve, I have them put on the left, I have them put, let me see, IRE, in the inflation rate equilibrium. And down on the bottom, I have them put URE, unemployment rate equilibrium. Anytime they give you the actual rate, that's what you put. So on the left, you're going to put 3%, and on the left, you're going to put 3%, with the dotted lines, and down on the bottom, on the right, you're going to put 7% beneath your intersecting line, which they said for some reason to label point B. Now, here's what's interesting. They gave you 5%. They want you to label that too. Where does that go? It goes under the LRPC. So once you've done that, you've nailed it. Now, let's go to B. Assume that the government of country X takes no policy action to reduce unemployment. Here's that same daggum question I've told you. It shows up all the time. I sure hope you're going to be prepared for it. I'll make sure it's on your study guide. Assume the government takes no policy to reduce unemployment. In the long run, will each of the following shift to the right, shift to the left, or remain the same? I'm not going to even pick up my little boards I've been using. We're in a recession. On the ADSRAS graph, the intersecting point, the equilibrium point, is to the left, okay? And what happens is, if we're in a recession, what's going to happen? Well, eventually, if we're in a recession, wages are going to go down. They're going to go down. A lot of my teacher friends have been arguing for raises for next year because, the economy was so hot. And we got an offer, and I told them we should take it. And a bunch of my friends basically told me I was an idiot. They said, we need to hold out for more. I said, we don't know that something bad's not going to happen. We're going to be in a recession next year. We should take the deal they're giving us. And so what's happened is we were expecting more money next year. And now, because of this situation, we may not get it. So what I'm saying is next year, we may be so happy to have a job, we'd be willing to take less. And that illustrates this point I'm talking about. So we're in a recession. So we have an intersecting point to the left of the LRAS. What's going to happen if nothing is done? If nothing is done, eventually wages will go down. It will take a while because they are, quote, sticky, but eventually LRAS will shift to the right. Okay, how do you explain that? So the answer is to the right. Explain, as the country enters a recession, eventually nominal wages will adjust, or you can say wages will go down. It will take a while because they are sticky. It will shift to the right. What happens to the long run Phillips curve? Nothing. Now remember, Lord have mercy, do not explain it if they don't ask you to. Do not explain it if they don't ask you to. Third time's a charm. Do not explain it if they don't ask you to. At this point, you got a 33% chance of getting it right. It stays the same, it goes up or it goes down, or it increases or decreases. It doesn't do anything. Now, moving on to C. Identify a fiscal policy action that could be used to reduce the unemployment rate in the short run. Fiscal means government. Please tell me you remember your go-to one. Your go-to one is government spending. Just like if they say, what monetary policy can the Fed do? Your go-to is buy or sell T-bills. I'm talking about for kids who are just barely understanding this stuff, they want to get by. So the thing is, if we're in a recession, they should increase government spending, or they could decrease taxes. Either one is correct answer. I guess they could increase transfer payments, but they usually don't show up. So I'm going to say increase government spending. Now, D, oh boy, this was not a bad essay, really. I hope you get something this easy. Draw a correctly labeled graph, ADSRS, and show what would happen if you did what you did in C. Increase government spending. Now you got to start off in a recession, which means the intersecting point is to the left. Then you show AD shifting to the right. You go from AD1 to AD2, show the arrow. And then it says here you have to show the impact on the equilibrium price level and real GDP. If you draw the graph right, you will show that price level inflation is going up and real GDP is increasing. All right, so let's see how we did. Hopefully I didn't talk too fast. This is the easiest of the 3 videos I did today. So let's see what they put. Okay, so here's how they labeled it. I wish they'd put a percent there. They put a 3 and a 5. This is the official, by the way, when you see these, this is officially what the College Board announced should be your answer. And I'm showing them to you because I want to prove that I'm right. Plus, I also want to show you how they word it. Now, this is not the only way this could be worded. There are other ways, but if you could write it the way they do it, it would be best. All right, there's 2 points. SRES will shift to the right in the long run. There's your explanation. They only gave you 1 point for that. And here's, usually it's 2, and here's the LRC PC remaining unchanged. And here is the fiscal policy question. They don't mention government transfers, but I think if you said increase government transfers, I think they would give you credit for that. And yeah, we did this right. Oh, they don't have LRAS on here. Well, I will tell you this. When you get that question about increasing aggregate demand, as long as you show the line going to the right, you're going to get credit for it. Even if it doesn't end the recession, even if it goes too far and starts an inflationary gap. It's only if they use the multiplier, I think, where you have to get it exactly right. And at this point, we are done with our 3rd and final video for the day.